Georgia's got one thing going for it right now that could really, really help it in the long run, and that is it's on its way to getting more guys back. Running backs, let's start there, right? And we're not even going to talk about the other thing yet, but we'll start with the running backs. Georgia was playing just freshman running backs the other day against UMass. Nate Frazier, obviously, guy that's been in there a lot, a guy that's a huge part of their rotation at this point. You've got Chauncey Bowens, Dwight Phillips got in there. But for the most part, it was Nate Frazier's backfield against UMass. 21 carries, 136 yards, 3 touchdowns. Really big game for him, 6.5 yards per carry. Huge game for Nate Frazier. But something that we've seen Georgia struggle to do this year is run the football, generally speaking. And that's not just on the running backs, on the line. It's on just kind of Georgia's offense has struggled at certain points this season, and the run game has definitely suffered because of it. Well, if they get Trevor Etienne back soon, which projected to do that, you get Roderick Robinson back maybe, you get Branson Robinson back, we're talking about a backfield that starts to change, and it starts to it has that depth again and experience depth, guys that have been in big games. I know Branson Robinson hasn't played a ton of football at Georgia, but he's been around for big moments. Obviously, he was on the team last year. He was on the 2022 team that won the national championship. He scored touchdowns in the national championship, so he knows what these big moments are like. And I just think that there are guys that have been coming back the last couple of weeks, and you're starting to notice a change. And it just goes to show how important it is to just be healthy. Smile Mondon, let's talk about him for a second. I don't even care about the numbers, because it's not about that, and Smile Mondon is not impressing people with the stats. And no one really on Georgia's defense is that impressive statistically. But what's been going on with him out there, they're better on defense. He's an experienced linebacker. This is year 3 as a starter for Smile Mondon. Started 2022, started last year, started this year. It gives them the ability to rotate a lot more in that linebacker room with C.J. Allen, Raylan Wilson. Chris Cole has really come on, a true freshman. So I think that the linebacker room has obviously benefited from just having that one guy back. He was very, very noticeable to me in his impact against Tennessee. Tate Ratledge, offensive line. He's gotten back out there, and I think that his presence matters. You notice what happened at Ole Miss is not just on Tate Ratledge, it's not just on that, but the offensive line struggled. Ernest Green struggled. Guys struggled. Tate Ratledge played a little bit. He was hurt. It's been much improved since then, and I know that was on the road and all that, but this Georgia offensive line has played better since that Ole Miss game. Why? It's healthier. Jared Wilson is finally back in the mixture. He's not just back for a game or two. He's finally back into just cemented in his spot, and I think that that's the same thing with Tate Ratledge. And look, I played sports all my life. I'm an injury-prone human being. I'm literally injured right now, recovering from my meniscus. Rhythm matters, all right? In football, I think it certainly matters. In basketball, for me, there are certain things that you're not doing when you're not playing, and it takes time to get back into that rhythm. And I think that's starting to happen for Tate Ratledge. I think that's happening immediately for Smile Mondon. And then when you think about what they could be with all of these running backs, and it's not just Nate Frazier, but they could throw out Etienne. Etienne is probably outside of Cash Jones, and I failed to mention Cash Jones. Why? Because they don't hand him the football. He's just a receiving back out there. But Etienne's a good receiver as a back, and I think that matters for them. And they want the versatility with Etienne out there. Why? When Cash Jones is in there, it signals pass. When Nate Frazier's in there, it signals, okay, there's a good chance that these guys are running the football. Nate Frazier's not a guy that they use in pass protection as much. He's not a guy that they use in... He's just not as good in the receiving game. So these guys coming back is really important. Ryan Cook from Dawg Post, I failed to do this a little bit earlier, but newsletter, it's down below. I didn't mean to flip you guys off either. Please check that out. One of the biggest pieces that could be coming back, and I think could significantly help the Bulldogs, is a wide receiver, Colby Young. It's not important to get into the details of his legal situation, but there were allegations made towards him. He got suspended from the team indefinitely. Those allegations ended up being dropped, but there's still a legal process, which is why he hasn't been with the team. But now he's returned to practice. Does that mean he'll be able to play this week against Georgia Tech? I don't know. Georgia would like that, though. And you'd really like him in the SEC Championship game. This is a guy that's caught 11 passes, 149 yards, a couple touchdowns. He's a big 6'4", 6'5", jump guy type of receiver that Georgia desperately needs in the red zone, in my opinion. I think that Colby Young, I don't think he's going to play this week. It's just my guess. I don't know. I think we'll know more about that as the week goes on. But he helps change their offense, and he's a guy that I think could just be really important for them. They need all those weapons. Dillon Bell is a guy that is not out there right now, all right, because he's hurt. Anthony Evans is a guy, hasn't been out there. He's been in and out of the lineup the last couple weeks. He's been hurt. Georgia has been banged up. Now, this is true for a lot of football teams, and this is something that happens to football teams over the course of the year. It certainly happened to Georgia. It sustained significant injuries over the course of the last few years. You think about George Pickens. You think about Jermaine Burton had a big injury in the spring one time. You think about Nolan Smith. Important players have gotten hurt for Georgia, and they've overcame it. Now, this team's not as good, so I think that you're noticing these injuries hurting Georgia more. But its full lineup hasn't really played this year together. It just hasn't. And now Dillon Bell is out. But think about what they are when they have Bell. They have ETN. They'll have Colby Young out there. Branson Robinson's in the mix. He's still got Nate Frazier. Offensive line that's fully healthy. Will a team ever be 100% healthy? Will this Georgia team be 100% healthy? I don't know. But what I do know is I think it could be a lot better. A lot better than when it's not. And that's kind of the whole point about it. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just... It's amazing to me how we haven't seen this whole group together this entire season, especially on the opposite side of the ball. Defense has had injuries. Michael Williams was out of the lineup for a couple weeks. That mattered. Warren Brinson dealt with injuries earlier this season. That mattered. The secondary has remained fairly clean in terms of injuries, and that linebacker really was just Smile Mondon. The defense hasn't dealt with it as much this year, and you've noticed that. But the offense, it's an offense that's been pretty kind of all over the place, right? You think about the way that they've let some duds out there. Kentucky was a dud. Ole Miss was a dud. And then there's the dud of a half that there was against Alabama. And then you think about the second half against Alabama and how much different that actually was. This team has been all over the place. This is what Kirby said. I'm going to give you a couple Kirby quotes about the recovery of some of these players. Here's about the Robinsons, the running backs, and Kirby T. Well, we'll know more today. Branson and Rod have both looked good in the last week in terms of picking up their pace, running and cutting. We're going to progress them today. This was yesterday. They're going to do more yesterday than they have. They ran. I guess you all saw them run on Saturday, but they did more on Sunday. We're day by day with those guys, but there's a possibility. So we're excited about them getting back to work. It totally matters, guys. Dean and I don't know if it was on camera or not, but got in a little bit of debate about how these injuries, I said, don't use these injuries as an excuse for this Georgia team and how it's played. This team's just not been as good. You think about it more and more, and it's like, well, it matters. It totally matters having all your guys out there. You don't think it matters to them that they have, as good as Malachi Starks is with the ball in his hands, and I wish that he got it a little bit more, because I've seen it happen at Jefferson High School, how good he could be with the ball in his hands. You want your starting punt returner out there in Anthony Evans, and you want him to be in the mix as a receiver as well. You want Dillon Bell out there, so you don't have to play freshman Sokovie White and freshman Nitro Tuggle, right? Even though they could be really good players. You don't want to have Chauncey Bowens. No offense to Chauncey Bowens and Dwight Phillips. Nate Frazier is on a different level from them in terms of as a true freshman, but no offense to those guys, you don't want them out there. You want your experienced players out there. You want guys that have been there before, and you really want Roderick Robinson out there. What can he be? What kind of change of pace running back can Roderick Robinson be? I think it matters. I think these injuries matter. I think Georgia getting healthy for the playoffs matters a lot. It's just not been the case. And I think I might have failed to say that, but this Georgia team is going to be better off with these players back in the lineup. Thanks for watching.